Do you remember the plan?
Nope. But how will we know if the plan works?
We'll still be alive.
And we're back. So just like the last video, we're doing another tier list for stage 5. Do you want to start us off?
Yeah. Start with 7 gold. 3, 2, 1, C.
D. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
personally, I do think it's good. The problem is, for stage 5, most of the time, everyone in the lobby is fighting for their fucking life. And if your partner sends you 7 gold because they're trying to make eco and someone else's partner sends them a Tact Crown or a Radiant item, you're clearly gonna get fucked. Because all you got is 7 gold and you cannot throw gold at the enemy champions. So you will lose the fight. However, there are a lot of times where it's stage 5, the game's probably gonna end soon anyways, you're extremely broke and you have to send your partner the 7 gold, or you're just about to hit a 4 cost 3 star. Sometimes that 7 gold is exactly what you need to roll just a little bit more, but the odds of you hitting are still pretty low. So
yeah, that's kind of why I put it in C tier versus D tier. I'll be fine with doing D tier. Okay, for remover in 5. 3, 2, 1, D. I said D because with the new change of getting a remover at the end of, or at the beginning of every PvE round, I have no use for it. I don't go for it at all. I don't even think about it.
Yeah, it really just feels like the option, like when you're broke and you can't send anything, you just go for it. I would definitely have it lower than 7 gold, specifically because they made the change to provide more removers. If that was not here, I would say remover is, definitely closer to B, because before they made those changes, golden remover as an augment, I almost always took because of how useful it is to have removers, and if we didn't get so many, this one would jump up. But now that everybody and their mother gets a remover, it's just not valuable at all.
Yeah. Now we have Reforger and a 5 gold. 3, 2, 1, C.
Yeah, this is a big difference.
Okay.
Do you want to start or should I start?
Honestly, it's very situational. I could be talked into moving it up to B tier. I don't think A tier compared to everything else.
Okay, to be fair, I did have it at the bottom of A tier, but truthfully, before recent changes, this would have been D tier with the rest of them, and 7 gold would have been above the others. The only reason why I'm putting Reforger at A tier is because of the changes they made revolving getting Reforgers. You used to get them basically all the time. You could Reforge a spat to a pan to a spat, pretty much anytime you wanted. Then when they made the change to specifically address that issue, now there's a lot of times where you can take like the cooking pot augment, or you get a spat off carousel, and you're spending the game praying for a Reforger because it gives you the exact pan that you need for your 8th sword. You can go for sword crest. It gives you the reforged spat that you need so that you can go 8 enforcer. There are so many boards that are just teetering on being really strong that need that additional spat to be strong, and sometimes Reforger is exactly what you need to hit that. I do think the rarity in getting Reforgers is what made it higher in my own personal tier list, but I am definitely okay with putting it at B tier because I put it at the bottom of A tier and it makes it so we can meet in the middle there.
Yeah, okay, I'll put it for B tier. So next is Component Anvil. 3, 2, 1, D.
Oh, you said D?
D is in dog?
Oh my god.
It's a Component Anvil stage 5.
That's true, but also for my D tier,
Component Anvil stage 5.
Yeah, it's just my D tier is like, it's the golden remover, so it's like, I feel like a component is still more valuable than that, right? Like if you happen to have scrap in, it gives you at least one full item
in stage 5.
Oh my god, yeah, okay. In all likelihood, it's something you don't need. However, if you do have that spat and you need a specific item, or if you're playing Twitch and you haven't gotten a bow all game, this could be the exact thing that saves your board, because completed anvil does not give you the option to get any more components, and you no longer have the option to get more components stage 5 after stage 4 minion rounds. So the only reason why I still think it's valuable is specifically because you can't get any more components for the rest of the game. That is the only reason why I think it's more valuable than D tier assist armories, and a little bit higher than C tier. I put it at the low end of B tier for me. I still think it's not that valuable for stage 5, but it has to do with rarity. You can't get them anymore, so it makes it a little bit more valuable.
Yeah, I guess it really just depends on your item economy. Once it's end of 4-7, whatever items I have, best items I have. For the Assist Armories, you're not guaranteed to get a Component Anvil. So I'm already thinking in my mind of what I'm slamming, and I'm probably already slamming like 5-1.
Yeah, I'm open to demoting it to C tier, truthfully. I do think it's a little better than the D tier items just because you can't get components anymore, but you're so right. If your entire game is contingent on getting one component, there's a good chance you're going fourth anyways. Yeah. So there's probably some issues along the way that could have fixed that for you.
That were not dependent on the components at all.
Exactly, but okay. I am on board with that one.
Okay, for 2 components. 3, 2, 1. B.
C.
So
Actually,
I have it because I have 3 things in B, so I have it like in the middle. I can be talked into putting it at the bottom of B.
Yeah,
but I definitely think it's better than Component Anvil.
Yeah. When I'm looking at this a little bit more now, knowing Component Anvil is in C tier, I think I'm open for B tier. The only reason that I wanted to put Component Anvil above 2 components is because yes, it does give you components and you can't get them anymore. So that's what I was just talking Component Anvil up for, but sometimes 2 components likes to give you your 4th and 5th chain of the game and not something that you actually need. So that's why I put Component Anvil a little bit higher in my personal tier list, just because you do get the option of choosing, and 2 components is like, hope that I get the right thing, and it also costs your partner 9 gold, so it's like, it's pretty expensive. You might not hit, but then again, it is 2 components that can be built into a full item, and Component Anvil cannot. So I'm definitely open for putting this at the bottom of B tier.
Completed Item Anvil. 3, 2, 1. B. Okay. Yeah. B tier. I honestly, so I had it actually at the bottom of B tier, but as I'm looking at it again, I should probably have it more in the middle or at the top of
mine's
B tier.
Kind of in the middle as well. It's like, it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's definitely helpful. It's one of the like not as expensive options for this part of the stage, and sometimes you just need your 3rd tank item. So I think it's good. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's game breaking by any means. So I'm up for just putting it. Honestly, I can have it above Reforger.
Yeah. I also think that at this stage, I'm not caring too much about items. If I don't have my carries items built, I'm probably going 8th.
Yeah, it does something for sure. It's just not enough to win you a game.
Yeah. Next is 2 completed items and a Reforger. 3, 2, 1. A.
Yeah, it's so good, and like yes, it is so expensive, so there's a good chance your partner might not be able to afford it, but if they can sell to do it, not only do you get 2 full items, you get that Reforger, and I was just harping about how Reforger can make it so much better for your board. Depending on your spot, it could be exactly what you need. It's on the lower end of my A tier, truthfully, because I think it's very hit or miss. Sometimes you get 2 completed items that are trash. You get Ionic Spark when you're playing AD or your 3rd Dragon Claw of the game, and it's like some of them really suck, but the opportunity for you to get a lot stronger is way higher with this one, Assist Armory, compared to the others.
Yeah, when I have the luxury of being able to be granted and blessed with 2 complete items and Reforger, a lot of times since I kind of just slam random things after 4-7 because I don't have, if I didn't hit my BIS or if I just have extra items, I'm just doing whatever with them, I'll slam the 2 complete items on a unit and I'll reforge everything together. So then I have opportunity to have 3 new items, which is sometimes helpful. I have it in A tier. I have it actually at the top of A tier, but we can just see what else we put in A tier to see if something is better or worse than it.
Okay. Yeah.
Next is artifact item. 3, 2, 1. A.
B, and I have it at the bottom of B, truth be told.
I could be talked to putting it down to B.
So the problem I feel like with artifact, not only is it not an anvil, it's just a random artifact, and that includes like all the shimmer scale items, which can be helpful, but in stage 5, like let's say you get Gambler's Blade off of the artifact, but you were looking for a tank item, it's 12 gold that your partner just had to spend, and 12 is such an odd number that it can definitely just keep you under eco for quite a while, or it can prevent you from hitting that level up that you need. So a lot of times I see artifact, I'm not loving the idea. The only times that I am all for it is if we have a healthy lead and we're trying to go, level 9 or level 10 with our lead, and an artifact is accompanied by a Reforger that someone already has, or if we have Pandora's Bench, that is when I think it's more of like a B tier, maybe low A tier. Personally, I think the variance is too high with artifact. I think the amount that it costs to buy it is too awkward, especially for stage 5.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I definitely think it's very comp dependent. Sometimes I take it because I'm greedy and I was like, yeah, just send me artifact item because like I have a random 5 cost that needs items. So I'm like, okay, let's just grab something. It's very hit or miss because if you hit, you're good. If you miss, what am I gonna do with fish bones if I'm playing Sorks?
Yeah, like it could be perfect. Sometimes it gives you the exact mana zane you want for your Dominator's board, or it gives you Trench Coat for your Vi. Sometimes it's perfect, but it is very unreliable. So that's why I put it at, I think I said C tier for me. I could be convinced for like bottom of B. I do think the variance is just way too high for something so expensive.
I think we could do bottom of B. Now we have 5 and 7. 3, 2, 1. S. I put in S just like how I did for stage 3 tier list because I always love it.
Yeah.
Like most of the time, again, it's 12 gold and it only costs partner, how much gold is that? 9 gold. Like, and most of the time at stage 5, I'm wanting to flex in a 5 cost wanting to flex a 5 cost or I'm wanting to just get some more econ so I can like either level to 9 or if I'm already 9 and I want to save up eco to just roll. So yeah.
Yeah, truth be told, I have it at the higher end of A tier. The only reason I didn't make it S tier is because at this point in the game, I feel like getting a 5 cost, unlike stage 3, doesn't really make your board. It can definitely help your board. Like if you're trying to go for 6 Dominators, you get the exact Mordekaiser, boom, you're good to go, which is why I think A tier is still very good. However, the amount of tempo that you could get stage 3 from getting a 5 cost when other people aren't able to afford that or they go for a component, I think is just so much more valuable, which is why I have it in S tier for stage 3, but for stage 5, I think the tempo can be there, but it doesn't always hit. Sometimes you will get a 5 cost that you really don't want to play. You're playing form swappers and it gives you a Mordekaiser. Sure, you can put it in, but you were really hoping for that Jace. I do think it should probably be an A tier just because it's not as, I don't know, the tempo isn't as high with stage 5.
I'm fine with that. Radiant item. 3, 2, 1, B.
B, yeah. I had it like low end of B.
Wait, you said D or B?
B as in like boy. Here's the thing. A lot of these assist armories have crazy amounts of variance, right? Sometimes a radiant item can pop off. You get radiant Rabadons on your Zoe or radiant Shojin.
Warmogs for the tank.
Yeah, radiant Warmogs. Like, the radiant items can be so good. The problem is, and like with a lot of these other assist armories, it's not an anvil. So you can get the worst radiant item possible for your board. Radiant Ionic Spark, you're playing AD, or Radiant Even Shroud, and you have 8 Sorks. Like, it can be so bad, and it costs 30 gold. Like, that is so expensive for how high the variance is. So I don't think it's worth taking. I have it at the bottom of B tier because most of the time, the only reason I pick it is to flex on the entire lobby. Like, look at me, my wallet's fat, I have a ton of health, I'm buying radiant item from my girl.
Yeah, not looking at the price and just taking radiant item itself. For our tier list, I'd put it in the middle of B tier because I don't think it's as good as included Item Anvil. I think it's not as useful as Reforger, but I think it's better than 2 components and an artifact item.
I agree actually. For a lot of the B tier ones, I do think radiant item can outshine them.
Yeah, but the price,
it's so expensive. That's my biggest deal. If radiant item was maybe like 20, like the same as 2 completed item at Reforger, I think I would bump that up to A tier for myself.
Like, I don't think a radiant item is better than 2 completed items on a Reforger.
Yeah, when it comes to circumstance and assisting your partner in the best way possible, I have to agree. The variance and the risk associated with radiant item is just so high compared to 2 completed items in Reforger. The only time where I would take this is if it's cheaper, because this thing can cost more than half my eco. I might have to sell units to buy it for you, so it's like, what's the point if it gives you the complete wrong item? I'm totally fine with having it in the middle of B tier.
Second to last, Champion Duplicator. 3, 2, 1. S.
I have it at the top of A, so I can definitely be convinced for S.
I put it on S tier because it could be used on any cost. If you want your 6 cost, you want your 5 cost, you want your 4 cost, you low roll to you want your 3 cost, you low roll again, so you want your 2 cost. You really trying to get that Draven 3, so you get that 1 cost.
You really should be out of the game by that point if you're using it on a Draven 3. But
honestly, there are some times where I do for that 1 cost, but I'm just like, you know what?
I mean, sometimes you really are low rolling, so the guaranteed option of getting a copy of the unit you want. So valuable. I truthfully do think it's either top of A or in S tier. It is great. It is cost effective. Sometimes you're trying to high roll with Pandora's Bench and you get to use this to hit a 4 cost 3-star, and the circumstance where I think it's even like higher than S tier if we did have a tier above that is if you both get the option to send each other duplicators back to back. That is when this Assist Armory is so broken, because you can use both of them to invest into a 4 cost 3-star to win out the lobby, or if you both are fast 8, fast 9, you're trying to stabilize and you have the 4 cost pairs that you need but you can't hit, this will be the saving grace to make sure your board is stable stage 5, especially if you both get it. I am totally up for having this in S tier.
Last one, my favorite one, the one we least send to each other because it's so expensive. Tactician's Crown. 3, 2, 1, S.
So I have it at S. It is below Duplicator. But the only reason I have it below Duplicator is because it breaks the damn bank. This thing is so expensive. Cost efficiency is thrown out the window. However, the guaranteed strength that you have from being able to get a Tact Crown is always there. It's not like some of these other ones where you might hit the right item, you might hit the Reforger for the spat or the pan, you might hit the right completed. It's none of that. If you get a Tact Crown, I guarantee you, unless you just don't put a unit in, then you're just trolling. I guarantee your board is going to be stronger after getting that Tact Crown. Having guaranteed power and guaranteed strength, wonderful. I just wish it didn't cost 30 gold. Like, it is so expensive and a giant burden to put on your partner unless you're just filthy rich.
I think it's a must take if your partner has so much gold, got hedge fund, and you just were hedge funding the whole game. I don't think I personally have sold units to make sure to afford a Tact Crown. That's 30 gold. That's 3 extra interest. But I love it as a person to receive the item, to receive a Tact Crown, because a lot of times I'm like, oh man, I low rolled, or I rolled too deep for this. I can't go 9, or man, that would be perfect to go 10 and I can't. I think I'm fine with having it on the bottom part of S tier. Like, that's perfectly fine. In a more realistic case, Champ Dupe is definitely better than Tactician's Crown in terms of scaling properly, keeping up with the lobby and everything like that.
And the big thing is really just cost efficiency. Sometimes your eco's just completely screwed and you are never going to be able to afford the Tact Crown, but 7 gold you will likely be able to sell for it. That's definitely a placement that I can agree with, and truthfully, going through all of these, I very much agree with a lot of our placements. I do think a lot of these are very good assist armories, a lot of issues with some of the prices for some of them and a lot of the variants for some of the others, but I like where we put everything.